Hey guys, welcome back for another fall polish line review. Today I'm going to be talking about the ORLY Wild Nature collection. A lot of these different fall collections that have been coming out have kind of different vibes, so it's really interesting to see what companies are coming out with. This one's a little bit different too, especially from the OPI and the Morgan Taylor polishes that I've talked about in my previous videos. So this one is called the Wild Nature collection. It has more vibrant creams. They're not super vibrant or neon, but they are kind of vibrant, which I think is kind of fun and different. They have kind of a tropical vibe to them, and they just said they didn't want their fall collection to be boring. And this one's definitely exciting. There's some interesting colors in here, and I have some comparisons for you. I got these from ORLY. They are available at Beyond Polish. Again, I will put my coupon code here, and thank you so much for using that. Okay, so let's talk about the colors in the collection. There's 6 colors, they're all creams. There's no shimmers in here, which I really appreciated. So most of the formulas on these are going to be crellies or jellies. So they're going to take a few coats to build up. A few of them build up in 2 coats, some you're going to need 3, and they give you that kind of squishy look on the nail. So crelly-ish, I get a lot of questions about that. It's a cream and jelly formula together. So jellies are kind of a see-through sheer finish, and so you're going to be able to build up a few coats and it's still going to look kind of squishy. Crelly is kind of a in-between cream and jelly. So just so that makes sense to you guys. I did notice that some of these formulas are going to take a little bit longer to dry just because they are crelly-ish, and so when you paint them, make sure to not get thick spots, but if you do, it's okay. Just make sure it dries really well before you come on with that second layer, because sometimes it can pull those thicker layers on there and make it a little more difficult. So just keep that in mind, that these will take a little bit longer to dry and you're going to need to be a little bit more patient. At least that's what I found in their application, but that's pretty typical for crellies. The first one we have here is Lion's Ear, and it's this orange yellow cream that really is a jelly finish. So it's a little bit darker than the one that they came out with this summer. The one that they came out with this summer has more yellow in it, and so I didn't do a comparison for that one, but I like that one against my skin tone better than this one because it's almost close to my skin tone, and I didn't love it so much on me. I do have a little bit more yellow toned skin, and so I don't know, for some reason I just didn't really love this one on me. I think I like a little lighter orange or a darker orange. So the formula is that jelly formula, so it's going to take a couple coats to build up. 2 coats I did find that I could still see my nail line. 3 it was a little bit better, but it's just going to be that kind of sheer finish, and that's what it's meant to be. If you don't like that kind of finish, then you probably won't like this one. If you do, then you probably will. So I did do comparisons for this one. There are some polishes that are kind of close to this one. So I compared it to No Tan Lines. That one's a little bit lighter and more opaque. Tangerine Tease is very close. It has more of an opaque formula though. It's not jelly formula, and it's darker and maybe a tiny bit of a red tone to it, so they're not exactly the same. And then ORLY Summer Sunset is more yellow and it has more shimmer. I just wanted to compare it to that one. I probably should have put the one from this summer collection, but that's okay. I didn't. That one's different too. So as you can see, there's not anything that I have that's exactly like this. I know there's some kind of orange jellies out there. I think Essie might have one, but I don't have it. So there might be something that's the same as this, but I just don't have it in my collection, so it's pretty unique to my collection. Then we have this next one called Wild Willow, and I do love these khaki greens. This one does lean a little bit more yellow, and I just think they're really perfect for fall. It's one of my favorite shades to wear. It's got a good formula. It's crelly-ish. It's not a complete jelly, so it is going to build up nice in 2 coats, and it does have a little bit of a squishy feel to it, and it's just a really beautiful shade. So I did do comparisons to it because there's been a lot of these kind of khaki greens that have come out in the last few years, and they do all have kind of a different tone to them. They're not all exactly the same, but they're very close, and I'll tell you which one I like the best after I talk to you about them. Okay, so I compared it to Zoya Mel, and that one's darker and more cool toned, and the Heart of the Jungle has a touch more blue, and I like that one the best. I kind of like the touch of blue more than the touch of yellow because I just like those cool toned colors better. And then OPI Susie First Lady of Nails is darker. As you can see, there are kind of quite a few colors like this that have come out. The formula was really nice on this. If you're an ORLY lover, it's going to be really fun for you to have this for their line, and I don't know, I'll let you decide which one of all those greens that you want. And then next we have In Full Plume, and it's this beautiful teal. It is a teal that has a little bit of brightness to it, so it's a little bit brighter than some of the other teals that have been coming out or have been released in fall collections before. A lot of those are kind of muted, and this one's a little bit more bright, but it's not as bright as some of the summery ones that are out there too, so it's kind of in between. I do feel like this is a great transition color just because it has some of that brightness as well, and it is kind of fun to wear bright polishes in the fall as well. So this one has a beautiful formula. It's going to build up in 2 coats, and it is a little bit Corelli-ish as well. It does dry down like barely. I would say satin, so it kind of has a satin finish. I always do top coats in my swatch pictures unless they're like completely matte, and sometimes I show the semi-matte or satins, but I didn't in this one. But just because a lot of the polishes that have this brightness in it, for some reason they have something in them, and I'm not sure what it is, but it makes them be a little bit matte or a satin finish, and this just has a touch, so it just has the satin finish, if that makes sense. I wanted to show it next to my Studios on Spring, and that is a more green leaning teal. Then I wanted to compare it to Amazon Amazoth. That one's slightly more green and not as bright. It's a little bit more muted. And Tell Me More was more blue. And a lot of you wanted to see how that compared to my Studios on Spring. So this comparison here gives you an opportunity to see that. As you can see, it's more blue than all these other ones. This is the brightest out of all of those, and it's maybe just a touch brighter. Hopefully you found that comparison helpful. Next we have Bird of Paradise, and it's this beautiful bright orange. I love to wear bright orange or bright reds in the fall. It's one of my favorite times to wear bright orange. I just think it's so fun to have a pop of something bright, and so I really like this one quite a bit. It's got a good Corelli formula, and it's going to build up really nice in 2 coats. I really thought this would be close to Color Binge from Essie. It's one of my favorite polishes to pull out in the fall because it's an orange leaning red. I was surprised that this one was quite a bit more orange than that one. So here, I'm going to talk about the comparisons now. So I compared it to a Good Mandarin. It's hard to find, and that one's more red and not as bright, and so maybe it's a little bit more coral. And then we have Life's a Beach, and that's like a neon orange red. I just wanted to show you how bright that was compared to this one. And then here we have Color Binge, the polish that I was talking about by Essie, and it looks totally red compared to this, so that was really, really interesting. I don't think this one is like super unique, but I really love having a bright orange for fall, and I will definitely be reaching for this one. Next we have String of Hearts, and this is beautiful raspberry shade, and it is quite a bit bright just like the other ones. It does have a Corelli-ish formula. It's going to build up in 2 coats, and it does dry down as a kind of satin finish just like a few of the other ones did as well. But I top coated this one. There are a lot of polished colors out there like this from a lot of different companies. This one does have a little bit of brightness to it, so I put some comparisons on here so you guys could see. I wanted to compare it to 7th and Flower because that's new from the OPI fall collection. That's very close. This one here from Orly is a bit brighter. And then Spare Me a French Quarter, I wanted to show you a more muted raspberry, which are typical releases for fall, so just to show you how bright this one is compared to that. And then OPI Miami Beat, that one's more red and darker, and I just wanted to see the difference between those two. Hopefully that comparison is helpful, but like I said, a lot of companies have raspberry shades like this, so it isn't anything like super new or unique, but if you don't have a raspberry shade, this is a good one to get. And then next we have Blue Tango, and this is your kind of typical bright cobalt blue. These are kind of fun polishes to wear in the summer and fall. I have at times pulled out these brighter blues in the fall, which is kind of fun. This one is more sheer than I thought it would be, but it has that same kind of Corelli-ish formula. It's going to take 2 coats to build up, and it has that nice squishy look to it. So it's a nice squishy blue. I like this one quite a bit. I didn't feel like I had any trouble with staining when I removed it on my skin. Like I said, with darker colors, you're going to always want to wear a base coat with them to protect your nail. So I compared it to its Brittany Beach by Orly, and that one's brighter and more purple, but I just wanted to see how it compared to one in Orly's line. And then I compared it to OPI Mi Casa es Blue Casa. It's close, but they have a different formula. So Mi Casa is going to be a little bit more opaque, and of course this Orly one is more Corelli. And then I wanted to compare it to OPI Tile Art to Warm Your Heart, and that one's lighter and more muted, but there are quite a few polishes like this out there, so this one isn't like super unique either. Maybe it being kind of a Corelli formula makes it a little bit more unique, but it's just kind of your typical cobalt blue. Here's all the the colors together just so you can see the collection together. As you can see, it's a pretty bright, fun, and it's definitely not boring collection for fall. And I'm gonna pick my favorites. This is kind of interesting because I feel like these are not super original. I don't know, it's weird because other times I've had collections come out that aren't super original, but I just like them better. But I don't know why this one's kind of like not super exciting me. I think I'm really narrowing down what kind of green khakis I like, and it's the blue leaning ones, and so I'm not gonna pick that one. I'm gonna pick these two. I think these are really pretty. I really do like this teal. I like that it's a little bit brighter, and I like this orange that it's a little bit brighter. I think these will both be good transition shades. So we've got In Full Plume, and then we got Bird of Paradise. Yeah, like I said, it'll be a good transition, and then I think I will kind of want more muted colors as we get deeper into the fall season. So let me know what your thoughts are in this collection. Are there any that you think you might pick up? Did you find this one to be kind of boring, or did you think it's kind of fun and bright? I love that different companies are coming out with kind of different things and different feels. That means there's something for everybody. So hopefully you find something that you like. I hope you found this helpful, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.